Welcome. Finally, we are back to another episode of Caps and Cards 716. I'm your host, Buddy J18, and I am joined today by
TJ North Shore Fitted here. We're going to talk about football. We're going to show off some crossovers from HatClub. We've been sitting on these for a while. We weren't able to shoot. But it was funny because the one John hit on is relevant to today's football games. First off, the evil empire is back. We are in the number one. We are our new Brady, Mac Jones. It's been incredible this run. The numbers we've been putting up have been crazy. And before you say that pedestrian, he didn't have that great of a game. 310 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had more yards than Rodgers did.
Jones? Oh, yeah. Geez, dude. You should have seen a couple of these games. Like today, it was just bad. Just for fun facts, Indy has blown like 4 straight leads. So I just want to throw that out there.
I got somebody who should probably hang in the towel up, yeah.
It's funny because Indianapolis had like 22-point leads on everybody.
He's got to hang up his jersey. He's gonna.
Oh yeah, he needs to hang it up.
It was so bad. It was like that last garbage time touchdown. They had 3 points until like the end of the fourth quarter, basically.
Yeah, I think that's like the calling of it's time.
I don't think he wanted to go out losing to the Browns like he did. And speaking of the Browns, the Patriots are also relevant in this conversation because we can have the number 1 seat in the NFL, which would in the AFC, which would give us the bye for the playoffs. That's why it's so important.
Yeah, when the Colts lost, if the Ravens lose, and then the Titans lost. No.
Yeah, we beat the Titans, so we had the tiebreak against them.
The Titans won today. They beat the Colts, but the Colts had a 20-something point lead on them, just like they have in the last 3 weeks.
We in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Titans.
No, Tampa today, but like.
No, you said the Titans, though.
That's who's in the picture.
Yeah. I think they're not really that much of contenders anymore, especially because they put on that wide receiver, A.J. Brown on IR, and Derrick Henry's out for the year.
They had 2 really strong running backs today, Foreman and Lilliard. They
out smash mouth them, though.
They were playing that smash mouth football, but once the guy broke through, he'd get like 30 yards down, and then McCourty would just come in and boom, and the ball would just go flying. Like it was a great defensive game to watch. Like in terms of how the Patriots just attacked them. As soon as the guy got the ball, it was like a swarm of blue. It was very defensive minded. They definitely pulled their head out of their ass on that one.
What was it? So guess why I'm picking Gronk? Guess why I'm picking Gronk? Because next week we'll be at the Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
I didn't think
those Pats, lower bowl. I'll get the section out. If anybody sees us, I don't know if I'll be wearing this because it's supposed to be about, 20 degrees.
The toques on, the fitteds on, the toques on, and the wool and everything.
I know Sean said something to me. I said, I'll be at the game next week. And he goes, if you guys don't go through a fucking table, you're dead to me. And I was like, I got to get a new one. They don't last that long.
Yeah, it'll go up on her Instagram probably.
So show me your NFL crossover.
So I was lucky enough to find someone who was selling the Patriots because this thing flew. It's got that 99 All-Star Game patch, the metallic brim. That. And here's it with my Gronk jersey.
I mean, if I didn't buy that Rust Belt in the 5/8, I still probably could have flipped that for like ridiculous proxying or whatever they call it nowadays.
Yeah, the culture is definitely getting messed up, man. It's a lot different. I'm gonna flip my combo wombo because the Browns are driving down the field right now.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna show off my HatClub Fall Classic Pack hat, and that's gonna be the Ravens. I think this is sweet. There's a lot of nice gold in it. Let's get that nice.
Right.
Obviously gray under. And the Batterman is also a flat. But it's not a Picasso, so I guess that's good. Because it is the Cooperstown. But I don't know.
New Era exclusive from a few years back.
One of the made in the USA's.
Yep. It's just material so much softer than the newer hats.
The thing I feel about that is that if people understood and had the amount of Musa hats that say you or I do, they would understand that the quality of the hat is just so much better. And I know I probably talked about it before, but you get such a superior product. Like they're just ripping fabric off, maybe measuring it correctly and throwing it together in these other countries. But Musa is a pretty big deal because I can put almost any hat on and they all fit.
And the fact also not being made anymore now, they're getting harder and harder to find.
Well, luckily, Paul at Crowns and Kicks found like 20,000 hats from some business that either went under and he got them all shipped to his home. So if you guys are looking at Crowns and Kicks, I did a Josh Allen piece for him called the Air Allen. It looks like the Bills logo with like the red line. You know, I've seen it on a beer bottle with the red line. You know, you'll see all sorts of stuff on game day. And hopefully he gets those out to me so I can kind of sell them out the back of the car or whatever we're doing. I'll set up a little stand and try and sell some hats. And
so, John, how does it feel to know that there's going to be 20 more years of dominance with the Patriots? Yeah.
I think that relents on how long Belichick is around, and it's not going to be Steve, because I don't think Steve puts into the same time that Bill does.
Maybe. I would like to see what McDaniels has to do after sitting on the Belichick for so long.
Like there's a lot of good coaches that came out of that like system like that, but Patricia didn't make it, and then
say a lot of duds from the Patriot system.
It's always like a player or something that came out of that system. I think Vrabel is the best hybrid to talk about right now because they were playing chess during the first half. They would do something and they'll be like, "Oh, do you remember where you saw that play?" Yeah, in that last wild card game with Brady, like they ran the same plays that the Patriots were running against them in the wild card, and it was so smooth.
Yeah, the Patriots at the last lap, man, to kick 5 field goals, but we still got the dub.
Yeah, and Titans missed a couple field goals. It was suck up. It was not like normally he's a pretty good kicker. He nails a lot of stuff, but this one kick, it was up and it was like a tornado hit it.
They went off doink. They didn't do the double doink like the Bears, but it doinked twice.
No, that's the triple doink.
It was pretty bad. It'd be interesting to see Monday night. The Patriots need to at least split the series with the Bills to stay in first in the AFC.
They were calling it a 2-4 or something today in the after game. Is that I think that was their record through 6, so that it really motivated them to start becoming a better team.
Yeah, we haven't lost a game since that Cowboys game, and the only reason we lost that game was because Mac threw that pick 6 on that drive when we had the lead. If he had just run the ball, we'd have another win, and we'd be cruising down the AFC East right now.
You're already in first place after today's 1:00 games. Just so you know, that 1:00 game, because the Titans and then this Ravens game really has no implications other than the division lead for their division.
Defeating for the AFC.
Yeah, but I mean, if they lose today and the Browns have already played them once, maybe I don't see them moving on.
Yeah, if the Browns lose tonight, they're probably done. Baker and the fans aren't getting along. I don't know if you followed any of that. Did you hear about that? When they were booing him when they were winning because he wasn't leading successful drives, and he snapped back at the same supporters. I definitely don't see an extension with Cleveland now. I see him maybe going somewhere.
See, he was supposed to sign a deal, and then Mac and Josh Allen and Lamar would sign deals so that basically he was supposed to be the stepping stool so that, you know, Allen could come in then after Baker gets his 150 and say, all right, I want 175 or whatever the number actually was. And I think this breaks the relationship with the Browns, and I think he might end up on a much better team now. So if the Dolphins or some other team are looking at a QB swap, Deshaun Watson for Baker, I don't know.
I do see in the future. I do see two quarterbacks that are going to be free agents that are going to be picking their destinations. Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. I think we'll both be on new teams next year.
I think it's going to be a draft day decision if they keep Rodgers, depending on how far they go.
I think Rodgers already made up his mind the way he's been acting and the way he's been. And that if you look at all the interviews with the Pat McAfee podcast he's been doing lately, I think he's long done with the Packers. I think he's going somewhere else, especially after they could have gotten Odell Beckham. He rallied to get Odell Beckham, and the Packers wouldn't spend the money on a one-year deal.
Well, speaking of short-term contracts, Matt Murray was dropped by the Senators, I think. And he's had a terrible record ever since his dad passed away. He's looking like Aaron Dell out there with almost 4 or 5 goals a game. And I was kind of hoping the Sabres would pick him up, but he cleared waivers. So he's on his way to Binghamton now to play for the Senators. So that'll be something interesting. I went to the Sabres game the other day against the Boston Bruins. I chose the side where I knew the Bruins would be shooting twice because I like to be where the action is at.
Little did you know there'd be 4 goals in a period.
Little did I know. 4 goals, 1 period. And I actually had written on the back of my jersey, Deck the Hall S. So Deck the Halls was...
What was it? Was it, were you on the side too with that dirty hit on Charlie McAvoy?
No, but I was on the same side of the glass because I was kind of like in the corner towards that side. But if you go on YouTube, and I'm going to have to talk about this Kachuk hit. It was Oleksiak from the Kraken hit Boris Kachuk from the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he bounced his head off the fucking pole. But the pole, I think, did more because he hit him shoulder to shoulder. And people don't really understand that if you're in the shoulder or the front, that's a legal hit. The only place that's not legal is if, like, when you get hit in the back and your neck goes up. Obviously, that's an illegal hit. But he didn't cross-check him. He didn't use his stick in any. But I think Kachuk kind of braced for impact, and that's what ended up having him hit the goalpost like his head did. It just rung off like a gong.
Nasty. I remember you sent me that one where he got whacked in between. He got sandwiched in between the goalpost and the goaltender.
It looked like he did like a helicopter, and then when his head hit the ice, that was my first like, oh. And then his head hit the post, and then it was like, ooh. And then he didn't get up right away. And that for me, I know he plays hockey. I know he's a tough guy. I've seen him play in Rochester for a couple of seasons.
Yeah,
not Rochester, Syracuse, but he was definitely a tough player. And if something like that happens, you got to pull that player out. That it's just like the NFL concussion protocol with that tent there. They need to have a better concussion prevention system in place, because that really bothered me. That, I mean, yeah, he missed 1 shift and played the rest of the game, and I think he got a point, but that's not worth the. Yeah, that's not worth permanent brain damage.
He's lucky he didn't have a neck injury either and be paralyzed possibly, like that guy from BC the number of years. That was really good. And he was projected to be a high top NHL prospect. Do
you remember how long his college career lasted?
1 shift, I think.
7 seconds.
Yeah, he came out and he went down to the boards.
He's actually part of the reason that the hybrid icing rule exists. That kid from BC, I don't have his name, but I will have to get it for our next video. Yeah, we kind of just started an impromptu feed here. I have talked about some hockey plays, the power plays, how the umbrella works, how the shooting and the overload strategies work, the big box, the small box, the diamond. I've been trying to get people to understand what the basic strategies of NHL 22 are. So if you're into that, do check out my solo videos. Now that I got my computer back, I feel like I could actually draw on the screen and just kind of do a better explanation for what we're trying to do. I thought it was pretty fun. Somebody on Reddit said something to me about, because I said that a snapshot didn't feel like a snapshot, and they were like, well, it's a video game. What did you expect? And I go, well, if it's the only hockey video game, I expect a lot fucking better. So
It's like the whole argument Madden football, 2K and Madden back in the day. I don't know. I know you remember this more than I do, but 2K was so much superior to Madden, and then Madden just bought the rights because 2K made their games cheaper too.
There's actually no baseball exclusivity
Anymore.
No, yeah, no, as of like 2 years now. The exclusive rights, 2K can make a game. There's never been exclusions that 2K couldn't make a game. They just didn't want to because the show sold so much better. Imagine having only one baseball game on one system and it sold better than 2K did on all four. Like that says a lot. And I hope that the show doesn't get lazy because of being on multiple systems now, because that would really suck. It's been one of the best baseball games that I have played over my entire lifetime.
One of my favorite things is Road to the Show. That's probably one of my favorite things about it. You can make your own character and bring on. The only thing I don't like is you can't buff from the 99 overall like everything and have every record.
I like it now where you have to hit to get a better attribute, and you have to and you can pitch right away. So you can be like an Ohtani player, which is that's kind of what they wanted, is everybody to really be that Ohtani type. And I think it comes out, especially in this year's game, that it's so well done. If you want to be a hybrid player, maybe you just want to be a closer, but at least you'll still be in the game, instead of getting taken out like a starting pitcher.
Interesting prospect. Alex Verdugo, the Red Sox, said he is open to being a two-way player next year. Well,
there were a couple of players that I think should have that opportunity, especially not just like if you're up 19 runs. I'm talking about, hey, we need 3 outs out of you, and let's just say another fielder or somebody can throw some good gas. Like maybe you want him in. Maybe those center fielders, and he is an outfielder, so I would say that he could probably throw 95 on a bad day, because how many throws has he made to get guys out at home and absolutely fucking nailed them? I saw it live twice this season. So
if he becomes a two-way player, and would it make the Mookie Betts trade look even worse? Because we got Jeter Downs. Who's the other prospect we got? The catcher there.
In AAA?
I think so.
Oh man. I mean, I love Jeter Downs. I wish he had come out of the dugout when I was there. I was calling to him and they're like, he's not here yet.
Like, check back in AA. Go to Portland.
Yeah. That's what I think the AA league though is almost superior to the AAA league because of how far they have to go as AAA players. But the AA league it's all very condensed in New Hampshire, Connecticut. They have a lot more teams up in the higher Northeast for that league.
Yeah, the Portland Sea Dogs is a nice stadium. I've been there a few times as a kid. I haven't been recently.
It's probably still good.
It's an old stadium, but it's nice, in a nice part of the city.
I went to I think it was Altoona, is single or maybe AA of the Pirates, and I wore the Christmas in July hat for the Erie Seawolves because I didn't have an Altoona hat, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're from Erie?" Like it was Cleveland versus Columbus.
That's your county, right? Erie County?
No, well, yeah, it is, but it's also the Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
that's 90 minutes south from me. It was just funny that so many people took offense to me wearing something from the other team. I was like, I don't even like either of your teams. So
doesn't matter. Once they get to the majors.
Yeah. They won't care about you.
Home run, I can prove it. Look at my home run challenge scratches. See, half of these are played against the Pirates.
Yeah, they're gonna love your team when y'all get to the majors. Well, Erie's with the Tigers. That's the difference.
At least he's not the guy who has the infinite ERA.
There's actually like 20 of them. I looked it up, but I cannot find it on a card.
Yeah,
it just puts a blank space instead of the infinity symbol.
Like, we don't want to put this embarrassment on him. We don't want to.
Yeah, I've looked for that team set from the Orioles, Red Wings, Rochester Red Wings, for that bottom of the 33rd. I'm still looking for it, but if somebody can lead me to that infinity ERA, shit, I'll bless you with something.
What was it? It's been crazy with the what's going on and everything going on.
Yeah,
all the signings. The Mets have been going crazy.
Yeah, actually, let me pull that up because there was a lot of interesting signings. I thought that Marcus Stroman was going to go back to the Mets, but that didn't turn out that way.
Baby, I know we're not going to get Scherzer because Scherzer wants to stay on the West Coast. I would love to imagine a Chris Sale Scherzer duo, your first number one and number two guy.
All right, here's I mean, that's not bad, but I know he wants to stay. You should watch Trevor Bauer's vlogs. Like he works out with some minor league guys that were in that fall league, and he's teaching these guys how to throw some 12-6s and some ridiculous sliders. So he must have something new up his sleeve, man. Because I seen his slider the other day, and I was like, "Fuck, he still got it."
It's a new curveball with a clear pine tar this time.
Spider time.
There's spider time.
So first off, we got Marcus Simeon signing with the Rangers for a 7-year deal worth $175.
I thought he was a lot younger than what you told me. He was like 32. I was shocked.
Yeah, he's going to be turning 30. He'll be like 31, 32 when come season start. And the reason you don't know about him is because he spent 2 or 3 years. First, they sent him down to Double-A or Single-A and made him work his way back up. And they said, fix your fucking swing or you'll never crack the majors again. This year he cracks the majors and hits the most home runs he's ever had in a career.
He's been in the Oakland rotation quite a bit before, like in the third base.
The only thing I don't want him to do is become the new Jose Bautista. Like when, when he signed that big deal, remember? He signs the big deal next year, can't even hit 100.
All those big contracts. Albert Pujols had statistically a really great year the last year of the Cardinals. They won the World Series. He could have possibly been the MVP of that World Series. They didn't give it to him.
And he will say that he is, except he played on a team with Yachty.
So then he signs this huge deal with the Angels, and they're like, oh, they have Mike Trout. Well, they didn't know Mike Trout was yet because he had just gotten called up. They didn't know what they had, but they go, we have a pretty solid team. We have Justin Upton. We have good outfield. We're looking pretty good here. Then Mike Trout comes on the scene. They're like, oh, we're a playoff team, maybe. We're a few pieces away. But they could never develop the pitching.
The Angels have not been very loud in their signings yet, but we will see.
They had a Syndergaard signing 1 year.
Yeah,
was like
23.
Million. That's fucking crazy. The guy pitched in 2 years. He has a combined 2 innings in 2 years.
Yeah, I was going to say he only pitched 3 outs this year, and then he went for surgery. And he did play in St. Lucie and maybe Binghamton. But I remember seeing the Palm Beach Cardinals. They had to face DeGrom and Syndergaard the next day. And they were tweeting, send help, please, send help. Because they were throwing like 102 at him.
Those kids are probably used to guys throwing like 89, not 96, 99.
They're used to usually like the low 90s, and there's always like one unicorn that throws like 96. Because these guys they're still working on the curveball and they're still working on the sliders. So you get somebody that screws up, and next thing you know, it's out of the park.
No, but then you get a guy like Jacob DeGrom, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, where he just, boom, you're like, oh, that's what he's got? Boom, the fastball again. And then you're timing up for that fastball. Then he hits you with a breaking ball and you're on your knees.
Oh, yeah. Amen to that, though. Hey, Serrano, how come nobody picked up on this guy? Throw him a curve. Woo. Oh, that's why.
great movie quote from
Major League.
Major League. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Fenway Park has a cool thing. The virtual VR thing that wasn't available to us when you came here last year. Hopefully it's up next year, where you can pretend to be a batter at Fenway Park and they give you 99 mile an hour fastball, and you're in a VR thing trying to hit it.
I've made contact with a 90, just for the record. I've made contact. I didn't say it went far.
Right, popped out to the catcher.
I played high school ball for like a year, and then I quit during the middle of the second season because I was like, I'm not even getting the time. Like, I wanted to be a catcher or like a first baseman because I had a really long reach with my legs. I could get like
pretty tall too.
7-8 feet out, really get a good grab. I had the glove, I had everything I needed, and ever since I hit almost an inside the park home run on one of our current senators' sons, I have not been activated since. So, whoops.
But no, I just thought it was a little cool thing that we could have done. It's just funny to think about, like, you're getting in a batter's box, and then the off-speed stuff's like 80 miles an hour too. So you see the ball come in, and you're just like, where did it go?
So, I mean, it's not something I think we could do, but we have a New Era training facility for baseball. They're called like the New Era Blazers. They're this travel league that they have these state-of-the-art batting cages. They'll throw you breaking balls, but they only rent it out by like the half hour or the hour, and it's ridiculous to get a machine that can throw you a curveball, but it's like $100. And I kind of want to do it, but I don't know.
That's like the Top Golf thing at Fenway Park. I looked into it and I really wanted to do it until I found out how much it costs. And I was like,
yeah, the Bisons did it. We're supposed to have a full operating Top Golf course here very soon.
I wish it was up. Like I'm up there next time.
Definitely. Yeah, and we can't go to Canada either, so we can't do the Mario Kart.
That's okay.
Secondly, we got Byron Buxton, who is 27 years old, signed a 7-year, $100 million extension. And I said something to Phil. I says, I mean, if he stays healthy, he could be big. And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. So
speaking of injuries, Dalvin Cook.
Ooh.
Yeah. There goes the Vikings, man. People are gonna care even less about Kirk Cousins, like 30 something touchdowns to like 2 interceptions.
Let's see. The Marlins signed Avisel Garcia, the catcher from the Brewers. Also, that was his most consistent year. He's 30 years old, and they signed him for 4 years, like 50 mil.
That's not that crazy. It's like 15 million a year.
It just, I don't know. For him, he had a breakout season. I don't know if a change of area is going to improve him or decline him.
I think it's more of they want to improve their pitching staff more because he's a pretty good catcher too.
Yeah, I mean, they still have Omar Narvaez, so I agree with keeping one guy, but then once you start seeing them, they're all popping like flies and just going.
The Marlins have a young pitching staff, so they want a veteran catcher because a veteran catcher is going to help tandem that young pitcher in and try to calm him down, tell him what with every major leaguer. Because did you know this? The Marlins were one of the teams that had the fewest home runs given up, pitching staff wise.
I think Sixto coming back is going to be huge.
They probably would have been a playoff team. Their offense was more consistent.
I think they're a playoff team if Sixto comes back and they actually have somebody, so they're not diving into the bullpen every game.
They have 3 really good starters when Sixto comes back.
Yeah, but that makes 3. You need 4. You need a guy that can go deep. You can't just short rest your number 1. But I expect to see a different Sixto this year than, I mean, they got Jazz.
It's electric that rookie year with his stuff. Hopefully nothing happens because unfortunately the last time the Marlins had this like young core, Jose Fernandez had that accident, and then everything got derailed. Everybody left. Marcelo Zuna's in jail. Christian Yelich is on the Brewers.
I got no words for that.
I don't know. D. Gordon's on Seattle.
Yeah,
crazy to think about. Was Ichiro with them at that point too? When he was with the Miami Marlins?
You're pushing the envelope here for me. I do want to talk about because we did mention video games, that one of my favorite video games of all time is like the Hits, Blitz, and Slugfest series by Midway. And that those games were revolutionary. I wish Slugfest would come back. It's nothing like sliding into second and doing the Ronaldo door to Batista, just knocking the shit out of him.
The football game. It was like you could like rip the guys. You could actually injure the other player. Do you remember that?
That was Blitz. Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, I remember playing that when I was younger on like PlayStation 2.
Yeah, as soon as the whistle blew, you'd like boom, elbow drop.
It'll be like taunt.
And fun fact, that is actually, they redid the game. It's got the same announcer. It's called Mutant Football League. So if you like Blitz back in the day, Mutant Football League is probably for you. The Bills don't have a team yet, but the one team that pops out in my head is the New Orleans Zombies. Like there's big saws that shoot through the field, and it's just fun.
Gosman the Blue Jays just now. 5-year deal. Kevin Gosman of the Blue Jays.
Gosman? Yeah,
so they'll have Ryu, Barrios, and Gosman in their rotation next year.
Somebody just commented on my shit. My boy don't give a fuck. Adidas with Nike, shorts with snow. Fuck all the rules.
I thought you were crazy too, man. It's cold here too. It's probably like
but like when I wear certain hoodies, they have that like Thermatech. So I'm just already so warm. So I said fuck it, and
I'm past that point. I fucking bundle up. You will not see me at the Bills game with a 5950. You'll see me.
Oh no. If I'm stagnant, I'm gonna be in a toque. But if I'm walking around, man, I'm wearing a fifth, you know.
Oh, you can tell it's real cold in New England now because my hands are starting to crack.
Yeah. I've been noticing something like that too. But the thing is, like, I just don't like being warm that much. Like, I want to.
It's bad when you first start working and then you get sweaty and then you start to get cold from the sweat.
Yeah, that too. Like, see, that doesn't fit well with me either. But if there's a way that if I can wear shorts and I'm only hopping in the car and going somewhere else real fast, I'm gonna wear shorts because
I don't know. My folks always used to say, don't wear. They always wanted me with a jacket and everything in case the car broke down. They were like, well, you're fucked if the car breaks down.
Yeah, I can imagine that. That actually happened to us near Foxborough when we were going to Boston to do all the sightseeing when I was like 6 or 7. And there's a photo of me and my brother at Foxborough Stadium in like 1997. And my dad did actually.
That was Schaefer. That was the stadium they tore down.
It says Foxborough Stadium. Oh.
No, maybe it was renamed. The original name for it, Schaefer Stadium, was a concrete shell, just like based on like the Bill current stadium. They tore that motherfucker down in 2000, 2001 after we won the first Super Bowl.
And my dad was like, I don't know, you guys might like it here. It's a football stadium. And then, lo and behold, when I started getting really into football, it was Gronk, it was Brady, it was Edelman, like all players I had watched in college. And I was just like, I kind of like this.
I'd say, well, being from New England, like football was your number one when I was a kid growing up, just because Brady was just starting to become a thing.
Well, obviously my number one was hockey because we had just gotten to the Cup finals and then we did it again. Oh, well, we lost to the Hurricanes in 2004.
Well, I'd say there's 2 seasons in Boston. There's the Patriots and then there's the Red Sox. Yeah. Those are the 2 major sports. There are a lot of Bruins fans, but there are a lot of people that don't give a fuck about hockey around here.
That's why I always hit my buddy up from Carolina to find me hockey cards because they don't care. They don't even know. Like they'll mark shit $1. And I'll be like, dude, that's a $50 card.
The Celtics are another team that can be hit or miss. If they haven't been relevant really, other than the 2008 the 2010 period, and then a little bit now, but they're definitely on the downside now. I don't see us making the playoffs, even with the East being really weak.
So like right now, the hierarchy, because the Sabres are kind of like, nah, it's definitely Bills, Bandits, and then Bisons probably are above the fucking Sabres right now.
I do have a jersey pickup too that finally came its way from Thailand. Guy from one of those hockey jersey groups. It is a size 60.
I'm telling you, at least get the length chopped a little.
I will. I'm gonna get it customized. I just gotta find the right person to do it. I need to find the time to go to that seamstress and see what she says. Yeah. She couldn't do that Jerry Rice. I'm still looking for someone to do that Jerry Rice.
That's for a discussion off camera, but that was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. I wish when you were here, we took a photo of you in it.
That would have been, dude. It'll still hit the floor on me, I think.
Here's your sale. That's like Shaq. Shaq wears a size 62. His basketball jersey. So if you ever get a gamer from Shaq, it's like a sale. You could probably fit.
We have a Shaq shoe at the running store that I get my shoes from. It's like this fucking big. I was like, damn. I put my shoe next to it. It looked like I was a fucking baby.
I went to the Basketball Hall of Fame as a kid. They have all the basketball players' shoes bronzed, so you can put your foot in it. And I have a vivid memory of putting my foot in Shaq's shoe and being like, how does he walk with such huge feet? It's funny because now you see guys with really small feet like Zion, and the way he cuts because he's such a big dude. That's why he's always having those problems with his feet. Same thing with Derrick Henry. That's another reason he's not going to be able to cut. Like the way he runs, like he's like and shit, swift and evasive. He's not going to be able to do that when he comes back with that ankle injury next year.
Let me go health professional on you for a second. The reason that happens is when you pound the ground with your heels. Let's say this is your ankle. This bone in here starts to chip away. And when you chip that bone, you create tears in the bone. You break your ankle. You become more capable of getting injured because of the breakdown in this area of your foot. And this is the most sensitive part of your foot, because the second that foot even moves like that, you're gonna break it, or you're gonna get hurt some other way. I know because I did it. And and once I see all these guys getting injured and people ask, how does that happen? It happens because they're super heavy on their heels. If they were heavy,
it's like having a house. Instead of having a 2x6, having like a 2x4 and swaying it back and forth. Eventually something's gonna break on it. Just because there's so much force on such a little piece, like a little bone.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
It'll be interesting to see how
they're bigger up top and smaller on the bottom, and I think that's going to hurt them in the end.
That's why guys like Jerome Bettis and all them were around forever, because they were just huge in general. Their running style was a lot different too. They didn't care about contact. They just plowed their way through it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you saw with that Alexiak hit the other day. Nobody hits like that anymore. Maybe Tom Wilson, maybe Ryan Reeves, maybe this Tyler Bertuzzi kid on Detroit is starting to really fucking hit people hard, you know? Like, I haven't seen certain people with games like that in a long time. Like, I like the players that are more aggressive, and just because the game's fast doesn't mean you can't get a hit in.
It's going to be interesting because there's a lot more case of injuries with how fast guys are flying now versus like 15 years ago when me and you were just starting to get into hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Like little kids. Like guys are skating a lot faster. I think the average speed's like 28 miles an hour.
McDavid is that fast. It's probably 22.
But like some of these guys are flying, like if you hit McDavid into the boards real hard, he's going 22 miles an hour coming down the ice. That's why you don't see open ice hitting anymore, because someone can get really hurt.
I know that from experience.
Oh yeah, you hit that kid, right?
I broke a kid's neck in open ice, and my dad made me apologize for it. And I was just like, but I'm not sorry.
It's part of the game. He got his bell wrong. I Cronwalled him.
Basically, well, I was calling it the Bertuzzi at the time, because he had just hit that guy from behind and got banned for a whole season just before the lockout, and that's when we started calling shit like that Bertuzziing, because it means to hit somebody to end their career.
Ovechkin's been having a crazy season this year. He had a hat trick the other night.
So, do you know what he did when he scored the third goal?
No.
His kid was where they take the photos in the corner, and his kid stuck his hand out, and he came by and gave him a fist bump. So Big Ovi gave Little Ovi a fist bump after he scored the goal.
Awesome.
Those are the moments I live for, and you definitely see it the most in hockey and football. I don't
You're
know.
not a Giants fan, but did you watch it? Did you see any of the highlights of Michael Strahan's jersey retirement?
No.
Because I hate his guts as a Patriots fan. But, in his jersey retirement speech, he did mention about the 18-1. He did say, he said, the Giants can do anything. You go through ups and downs. We're just down right now. We'll be up. I promise you that. And he got the crowd crazy.
I wanted to watch the pass, so I tuned him out.
The Eagles, instead of getting the guy they got instead of DK Metcalf, who they drafted higher, had game-losing interception. The game he was the wide receiver getting the ball, went through his hands into the defender to end the game, and they were driving down the field. They could have tied it up with the Giants. And now Eagles fans are saying should have drafted DK.
Yeah, I mean,
at least Dallas lost this week, so
if their dad was in the league, it's probably a good idea to draft them. However,
it wasn't his dad, it was his uncle.
Let me give you an example of a time where we drafted because of the last name and it did not pay off. All right. You might be familiar with a certain Wayne Gretzky. The Sabres drafted his brother, Keith Gretzky. Guess how many total points he had in the NHL?
0, because he never made it up.
Like 3.
What was it? I just found out the guy from our town, Randy Wood, who's Miles Wood's father, who was playing in the NHL. He was a Sabre for a little while too. At one point,
Randy?
Yeah, Randy Wood.
I'll see if I have his card. I might have that. If he was probably an '80s player.
He was in the '80s to like the mid '90s. He had a 12-year career. I think his last stop was the Sabres. I think he went from the Islanders. He played the Islanders for a long time. Then he went to, where is it? The Leafs. Then he went to the Sabres. I think there was another team in there too. I think there was like the last couple of years he played with the Sabres.
Cool. I will do some research on that.
They did some, what do you call it? They did something with that goaltender from the Cup team, the Sabres, recently, didn't they? The Dominator?
Oh, the Dominator had his number retired, I think. He's definitely in our Hall of Fame now.
I'd love to see them come back with the Goathead jersey. Those would sell out like.
I'll have to check David Adams tomorrow or Tuesday and see if there's anything like that around. Because David Adams will make like knockoffs, like they'll put the back together on a real nice, and they'll make that all together. And his autograph is wicked fucking clean. Wicked.
I got a little teaser. I've got a booklet auto coming. In the comments, if you guys can guess who it is. He's a wide receiver, and he was a rookie in 2021. It's from this year, I think. He's in the NFC West.
NFC West, that's right. Yep. I think that might be all I got today. I will show off what I got for. This is what I wore today. This is the G-Eazy. You can kind of see the back now. I'm very thankful for that light right there. Yellow New Era. This is the Warriors colorway. I have the A's colorway that says from the Bay to the Universe.
I remember telling me these because they were on sale way back.
I should have bought more than one. I tell you what.
Those are better than the West Side customs. I like that a lot more than the West Side customs.
I don't mind West Side. I like G-Eazy. I'm a big fan of his music. He's been inspiring me to write some of my own shit. So at some point, maybe I'll upload a couple of those videos just for fun so people can see what we're talking about and just having fun with it. And if you want to get involved and be part of this little rap group where we just make fun of each other and say stupid shit, then let me know.
Well, if Bills ever make it to a Super Bowl, John's have to write a rap about the Bills.
Well, I mean, Benny the Butcher already did, but I'll do it. We the Mafia. Bills Mafia. It plays at the stadium. I hear it all the time.
I loved how in New Orleans on Thanksgiving you could hear the Bills fans with the shout song.
I did a little clip, so I am gonna put that on my TikTok where I was narrating how, this is my quarterback, this is my team, and then he's taking the photo with all the people, and his Bills Mafia crashed New Orleans this past week. So I'm ecstatic. I think
there'll be a lot of Pats fans and on Monday night. I think there's gonna be a lot of Patriots fans on that plane when I'm flying out.
You're gonna hear so much shit talked. You're gonna hear so much on the way in and out, no matter the outcome. It is. I went Facebook Live like 2 or 3 years ago, walking to the stadium from like the road sidewalk to the stadium. It's no more than probably a couple 100 feet. And I had to stop going live because these guys were just like yelling at families and kids. And it's a serious thing. And that's why I tell you not to wear fucking Pats gear here. Cause I mean, there's always that, like, I'm not saying the cops wouldn't back you if you got assaulted, but they'd probably be like, well, you're the dumbass that wore that shit here. So don't fucking get mad at us.
Can't be as bad as Eagles fans. Eagles fans are the worst fan base in the NFL.
Today, Graham asked me who I thought the most fun fans were, other than like the Bills, and I was telling him the St. Louis Battlehawks, but other than that, I like Raiders fans because they're just funny. They wear these big, like they got all the foamy pads and stuff, and they're.
You ever heard I got a joke for you. How do the Raiders get a really insane offensive line? They go to the black hole, they pull some guys up, and they'll just hold their Glocks up. Every play. Derek Carl have them all day to throw.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what they say comes with a Raider hat, right? A bottle of Henny and a felony.
Well, do you have your Ravens jersey handy real fast so we can make one more joke?
Yeah.
Mine came. I ordered one. I thought it was authentic. It came in. It was a piece of shit. So we want to make this our finishing point here.
Where are you? I just saw it too.
Maybe I should just get I killed a guy fucking stitched on the back. I mean, there's only 152 in Baltimore.
You know why he wore number 52?
Nope.
Because his mom was getting abused by his father, and he would do push-ups. He'd pull a deck of cards out, and he'd do a certain number of push-ups. Card he pulled, and there's 52 cards in the deck.
Respect. Except that he killed a guy.
In Atlanta.
Supposedly, I mean, so did Aaron Hernandez, but who am I to judge him?
Where the heck is this jersey? Manning. This is the problem with jerseys. Here.
This is the problem with jerseys. You saw it here first. This is the
already trying to find something.
There we go. All right. So we got the Ray, I killed the guy, Lewis combo wombo.
The side patch should work pretty well together too, because they incorporated that gold. They should have done that. Rather than that gold, I would have loved to have seen them do that yellow.
Yeah. It's kind of hybrid. once you see it in person, you'll know a lot better. But this is our Ray, I killed a guy, Lewis.
That was like the what do you call it? The beer pack. I didn't like those online, but once I saw them in hand, I had to try to find one. Was that Pujols one?
I mean, somebody asked me about like the all blacks. Like, I know I have this with the green bottom and shit like that. Like, this is my favorite hat of all time. Like, no matter the logo. These fucking
It's the
Expos.
tag authentic too. So this is old school. This is a newer Ray. This is one of the original ones. $3.
And I know this is not talk for you to be on camera with me, but I got a Magic the Gathering Innistrad or Crimson Vow set booster. I've only pulled 10 packs and pulled over $100 worth of cards. So I will post on the Instagram. I'm not going to do a video about it, but if you guys want to know about it, I will post that on the Instagram. So we're going to wrap this up now, the way we always do. Peace, love, and caps. Good night.